everybody, it's Julie, Kansas City girl in a Colorado world, and I am here with a special edition floss tube. Today is Tuesday, April 21st, and this is a WIP parade. I haven't done a WIP parade since I think it was the very end of 2018, or it might have been like the very beginning of 2019. So it was kind of like a end of year wrap up. So it's been over a year, almost a year and a half. And I did want to do one going into 2020, but I just didn't ever find the time, and so whatever. But now I have the time, as most of us have a little extra time right now. So I thought it would be a good time to do an update. It's been, there's been a lot of changes, finishes, new starts, projects I've kind of given up on, and I just thought it would be fun to kind of see where we're at. I have 90 WIPs. For anyone who is wondering what a WIP is, WIP is an abbreviation or an acronym for Works in Progress, WIP. It just means a cross-stitch project that has been started but is not done, has not been finished. So it is an active work in progress, and I have 90 of them, and for that reason I expect this video will be quite long. If it's looking like it's getting too long, maybe you'll be seeing a part 1 and a part 2. We will see, because sometimes I just want to chat a little bit about a project. Others I think I could certainly show in way less than a minute. Maybe we can get this around an hour and a half. We'll see. No promises. Got my drinks here, and I'm settled in, planning to be here for a while. I do want to show you guys where I track my WIPs. I have this Happy Planner notebook, and I love it. This is a collection that came out last year. It's Wrong is the designer. Anyway, it's just a notebook. It's got a couple of dividers in it, but the paper is dotted. I don't know how well it's going to show up for you guys, but it's just a blank notebook. I also use Happy Planner planners. Sometimes. I have not been using them for a few months, I'll be honest, and I don't have much I need to be planning right now. So definitely not just like once a year, several times a year, I write out all of my active WIPs, and I write them out chronological, like from start date. And the reason why I do this several times a year is because eventually, it starts to look kind of, as I finish things, I cross them out. As I give up on things, I cross them out. And, it just starts to get a little messy. So, it's about time for a rewrite. So I might be doing that soon. Just making my list pretty again. But, it's still, it's accurate, it's up to date. I'll just rewrite it and take off the things I've finished or abandoned. Anyway, let's get started. I think that's all I really, all the preamble I needed. So my last WIP parade, I don't believe was in chronological order. I'm almost positive it wasn't, because I just haven't taken the time to do so. But this go round, they are in order, because about a week or two ago, I actually pulled all my WIPs out and really examined all of them, deciding if I wanted to continue with some of them. And I just took that opportunity to put them all in order according to this list. So these are chronological order. So my oldest WIP is from 2017. 2017 is when I really got back into cross stitching. So I don't have anything too much, well, I don't have anything older than that, which is nice. None of these are really old WIPs. They're 3 years old. But So my oldest WIP, and it's funny because I actually absolutely love and adore this one, and I have no excuse for why I have so very little done. This is a Shannon Christine pattern, and it's from Cross Stitch Collection magazine. And it did come out, I believe, like, I don't know if it has the month on the pattern, but it would have been like probably like the March edition of that magazine in 2017, or maybe like the February. It might have been the February edition. It's a Jane Austen inspired, well, it's not inspired, it's definitely a Jane Austen themed piece. It's from Sense and Sensibility. No, I made that up. This is Emma. This is Emma and Mr. Knightley. If you can't read that, it says, "Perhaps it is our imperfections that make us so perfect for one another." And I, again, have no excuse for how little I have done on this piece. And I do very frequently pull it out and think, I need to work on that. I really need to work on that. I'm stitching this on a Picture This Plus 28 count, and that's how you know this is an old WIP, because I would never stitch this on 28 count these days. It's Picture This Plus Petal, which is a white, it's a white with like really subtle like blue and pink tones, but this one it's even more so. It's basically just a white piece of fabric. So that's all I have done. Pitiful. Pitiful. I feel like at some point I'm going to really put some work into this one, because it's my oldest WIP, so that's motivation enough to just like grab your oldest WIP. And I really, really like it, and it's not that big, and I just need to do it. So my next WIP is a big one. This is from July of 2017. It's a chatelaine, my first chatelaine, blue Moroccan lace. I didn't even get a PDF. I like went and bought a paper. I didn't know better. In case you all don't know better, if you're going to do a chatelaine, get the PDF. You can zoom in, you can see what you're doing a little better. It's really hard to stitch a chatelaine just from a paper. So this is on a 28 count Witchelt linen. It's that super, super stiff, like the lamb's wool linen gets, so that's kind of annoying. It's stitching fine, it's just really annoying that it's so stiff. And then I just noticed there's this humongous slub I'm gonna have to contend with at some point. I don't know which direction this goes, but it doesn't matter because it's it's all symmetrical. This is how far I got on this one. And these are, of course, so stunning in person. Where's that slub? Here it is. Look at this guy right here. That's gonna be fun. This is pretty much full coverage, so it'll probably not really be noticeable when it's all said and done. That there's a huge slub right there. Again, like rookie mistake, right? Like I had no idea. I just like picked a linen out, had them cut it. I wasn't like, oh, I wonder, like I should check and make sure there isn't like an enormous slub right in the middle of this linen. It's hot in here. Okay, my third WIP is another one I really love. This is from July 19th of 2017. It's Little House Needleworks, Old Nantucket. And I've got quite a lot of progress on this one. It's stitched on a 36 count vintage lentil from Lakeside Linens. And I'm almost like half done. So funny, and I love this linen. I just absolutely adore it. Again, rookie thing for me, 36 count, I pretty much avoid now because I don't like the coverage. I do use it sometimes. I generally don't like the coverage with one strand, but 2 strands is too bulky. And that's what happened here. I ended up going with 2 strands. It looks fine, but it's bulky, and I had to fight with that house quite a lot. So, but the coverage just would not look right with 1 strand. So again, rookie me, I've learned so much since then. My next WIP is Snowflower Diaries Viva La Frida. This is from August 12th of 2017. And this piece is just absolutely stunning. I am stitching this with silks. It calls for Nina's hand-dyed threads. I've just swapped in Dinky Dye's silks in the same kind of color. The fabric is, I believe, a R&R. It's a 32 count creme brulee. 2017 me. I wish I could just slap her a little bit. I don't do silks on 32 count. That wastes. It's not that it wastes, but it uses so much silk. I prefer to stitch 1 strand, like a 40 count with silks now, because silks are precious and expensive. So this 32 count is like eating up my silk. But anyway, here's where we're at on this. And this one's funny because it's actually like not a lot of stitching, and it could be completed with very minimal effort on my part. But all right, the next one is Plum Street Jack's Bash. This is from August 20th, 2017. And that's what it looks like. And I am stitching it with all of the called for Gentle Arts. And this one is on a 36 count Edinburgh linen in platinum. It's just a Zweigart. It's not modeled. It's just it's actually a really pretty color though. And on this one, I did learn my lesson, and I did 1 strand on 36 count, but I don't love the coverage. It's fine. I don't hate it. I would do 40 count if I was doing it now. I got pretty far on this one before I put it away. I really like the color of this linen. It's just like a really pretty, like creamy color. I'm trying to put these away as I go because I did have these in order and I don't want a huge mess. Okay, so the next one is Rosewood Manor Autumn Quakers. This is from October 2017. I am stitching this on, I believe, the called for doubloon by Picture This Plus. I am doing 28 count on this one, and on the Rosewood Manor Quakers, using the called for Valdani threads, which are these little balls, you do need a 32. Maybe you could get you do need the 28 count that's called for. You might be able to get away with the 32, but those threads are thick. So, this fabric looks great. This is how far I got on that. I've gotten that one out somewhat more recently and worked on it for like a night for a challenge on something. Okay, so now we're going to get into some Christmas projects. So in 2017, at the end of 2017, I did like I called it like a 13 days of Christmas or something like that. And I started a new Christmas themed pattern, or winter, every day leading up to Christmas for 13 days. So I have a run of Christmassy patterns here. But this one I think actually I squeaked in before I started that. So this was November 12th, 2017. Little House Needleworks, The North Wind. And I have worked on this recently, actually. Because it's one of those, like, I always think, like, I'm almost done with it. And I'm like, oh, I just need to, like, finish that up. It'll just take me, like, a day or two. And then I pull it out and I start stitching and I'm like, oh, well, I still have quite a bit on that one. And I've done this to myself, like, 4 times. This is a 32 count Winter Sky, which I believe is a lakeside linen. And it is the called for floss colors. And it's really cute, but I'm never as far on that one as I like to believe that I am. Okay, so now we're going to get into the 13 days of Christmas. So first up was Primitive Hair Christmas at Orchard House. I started this on December 19th, 2017. No. That's up next. Spoiler. This is Primitive Hair Christmas Tree, which I started on December 13th, 2017. And this is on I think it's a 36 count. Picture This Plus Mellow. I never buy 36 count anymore. I love this fabric though. It's really pretty. And I am doing this one strand with the called for. So pretty, pretty fabric. Didn't get terribly far. A lot of these WIPs, you're not going to see a lot of progress on them because I was on a lot of them doing like a Stitch Mania or something where I only worked on them for like one day. So now we have Primitive Hair Christmas at Orchard House. And this is just charted in DMC, and I'm stitching it with the DMC, but I'm stitching it on, I believe, a 32 count Picture This Plus Relic. I love this fabric. It's so pretty. And I only got one day of stitching on that, so did not get a lot done there. This one's been kind of calling to me. I think it would be a really fast finish. And it's just been calling me, so stay tuned. Maybe we'll actually get back to that one. I would not have thought this WIP was from 2017. I feel like I started this like way more recently. This is Brenda Gervais, Heap on the Wood. I started this on December 20th of 2017. And this one is also, I've done a ton of progress and I feel like it's pretty close to a finish. It's on 32 count Picture This Plus Wren. So it kind of uses a lot of floss, but it looks really good on this fabric. I love this. I have had some pieces of Wren that I do not like, especially in 40 count. Something about the modeling, not a fan. But I do like this piece of 32 count Wren. So just holding it back so you can really see what it looks like in terms of the fabric. That's showing up really accurate. And then here's how much I have done. So I've got a lot done on that one. It's a big piece, but the stitching I think is kind of like spread out, so it doesn't take as long as you would think with how big it is. It kind of, it has potential to stitch up pretty quick. Okay, so next piece is Stacy Nash, Christmas at Hollyberry Farm, December 22nd, 2017. I have the most pitiful start on this one. And I love it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I absolutely love this pattern. I just have barely done anything. This is 36 count Vintage Country Mocha. I think it goes this way. Just a one-day start, and I've never gone back to it. And not for lack of like enjoying, well, I don't remember if I enjoyed the pattern. In terms of stitching it, I do enjoy the look of the pattern very much. All right, so up next, Little Stitcher Magic Christmas Eve, and I stitched this on Christmas Eve, December 24th, 2017. And I believe this is charted all in DMCs as well. And I'm stitching this on a 32 count Relic by Picture This Plus. And I have the tiniest little start on it. It loses some of that gold when I zoom in. Yep, pitiful. Next up is Brenda Gervais Christmas at Winterberry Cabin, and I started this on Christmas 2017. And I only got the one day, so very little progress on here. I should have tied my hair back, and I'm getting hot. Okay, that's what this one looks like. It's really cute. I really like this pattern. This is a Lakeside Linen 36 count vintage light exemplar. It's a really, really pretty color. And here's my tiny little start. One day. And I don't know why I haven't gotten back to these, but I just haven't. I haven't gotten back to these. Okay, so I think this is this is the last one of 2017. Last one, Rosewood Manor Winter Quakers. And I've stitched on this pretty recently, actually. I'm using the called for Valdani thread pack, and I'm stitching this on a 28 count hand dyed by Stephanie Snowdrifts. And this is, I always thought it was a linen, but it's definitely a Jobelin. I can just tell by the feel. And that's fine. I have nothing against Jobelin. This fabric is gorgeous. It's so pretty. And that's how far I've gotten. I'm almost done with page 1. Almost. Okay, so those are my 2017 WIPs. So now we're going to get into 2018. Let's take a drink. If you guys have a drink, you know, now's a good time. That might be an alcoholic beverage. Okay, January 13th, 2018. I started Lila's Studio Let Freedom Ring. I have no idea why I started it on January 13th, but I did. This is a big gun. And I haven't worked on this in a while. I do want to get back to it. I'm stitching this on, but I've got a lot of progress because one year, I think it was 2018, I spent like the whole month of July stitching on this. So I've got a lot done. This is a 35 count Old New England linen from Primitive Hair, 35 count, but I'm doing one strand over 2. And I do like the way it looks, even though it's a 35 count. You would think that would look a little sketch, but it actually looks really good. It's really pretty. I love this linen. It's like my favorite linen by her. Old New England. It's super crusty. And here is where I am on this one. So I've got the bulk of the building done, and that's of course the hard part. A lot of people start in the top left on this one with the flowers. But I did a center start because I think I left myself some questionable margins on this one. So I started in the center just to make sure I wouldn't like get to the far corner and be totally out of space. Like I'd rather work out from the center and have like ½ an inch margin than like be wrong starting in the top left and not have enough space. So I'm using all the called fors on that. And the next one is one I really love a lot, and I have worked on it in the last year, but I always like, every time I see it, I'm like, I need to work on that. I feel that way about a lot of these, but this one especially. So this one I started on January 17th of 2018. It's Ink Circles Get Crackin', and I'm stitching this with all the called for Gloriana silks. And that was an excellent, excellent choice because they are lovely. I'm stitching this on, it's a Picture This Plus in Serene. I think it's either a 36 or a 40. It might be a 36 count. It's a nice like aqua, like really light mint aqua. And this is how far I've gotten on this one. It's really fun to stitch. And Gloriana's might be my favorite silk to stitch with. So, crinkle, crinkle. Okay, and then I start, oh my gosh, this is like shameful. This is my oldest Sal. My oldest Sal. And I love it, and I have no excuse for like why it's still a WIP. This is from January 20th of 2018. Ingleside Imaginarium, Guardians of Notre Dame, Sal. It's not even that much stitching. Like, I have no excuse. This is a 28 count casual that I dyed myself. And I made it through March, and then I stopped. It looks so good too. It looks amazing. Probably like one of my favorite Sals of all time. I just haven't like gone back to it. Like once I fell behind, I just never went back. So shame on me. After that, I started Plum Street Heritage Sampler on January 27th of 2018. I am doing this one in silks, mostly dinky dyes. And I'm just, you know, converting things over to colors that look like what the called fors are. This is this is the other half of that 36 count vintage lentil by Lakeside that I'm stitching Old Nantucket on. And I worked on this actually really recently. I put all those flowers in next to George. No, George is at the front. It's next to the random dude in the back of the boat. I love that one. Ooh, this is a fun one. This is in a beautiful bag that Sharon Quail Hollow 7 on Instagram made for me. So pretty. It's Jane Austen fabric. It's incredible. So I wanted to put something special in it. So I started on my birthday, 2018. So January 29th of 2018, I started another chatelaine. This is Marie Antoinette. This one I did purchase the digital. I think this is one of the most like doable chatelaines. It's not as full coverage as a lot of them are. It's big, but there's a lot of open space in there. So I feel like, you know, in terms of a chatelaine actually getting done in my lifetime, this one's got a good chance, but that would require me actually pulling it out and working on it. It is on 32 count French Lilac by Picture This Plus, which I did order, you know, sight unseen online, and it's probably a little bit darker than what I intended, but I think it'll work fine. It's pretty dark though. I know that some of that blue gets lost on here, but I think once I put the beads in, it'll be better. I love these needle minders. I've missed them over the last 2 years. This is one that I'm constantly like, I need to do that again. I need to go back to that one. And I every year I like tell myself I'm gonna like pick a month and just like work on my chatelaine and you know, really knock out a bunch of it. And it's always like, this one is the one I'm gonna do. And then I don't. So. All right, up next, Little House Needleworks Early Americans series. I started this on February 3rd, 2018. This is 9 patterns, and they're not in order. And you've seen many people complete these over the years. I completed one, and then I started the second one, and then I never really went back. This one's gonna be a pain in the bee. Look at that big house. That's the other thing, is these are like deceptively like small. So you're like, oh, this will be so quick. Oh my God. They're, it actually, I don't see, oh, they're 69 by 69. So like they're tiny. So you're like, oh, I can stitch those so quick. But each one has like a big house. So whatever. This is on 32 count Relic by Picture This Plus, which is like just so beautiful. And so I got the first block done, Betsy Ross, and then I started on John Hancock, and I just had to stop for some reason, and I didn't ever get back to it. That's getting really blown out. That's more the color of the fabric. Okay, I do love that one. I regret that it's on 32 count and it eats my floss up. Okay, so then I started Mrs. Pagadi from Etsy. This is Elizabeth Bennett, and I started this in March of 2018. I forgot to write down like the exact date, but it was sometime in March. I did recall that much. These are like full coverage Haid style. What I decided I would do to like make this more manageable, although I haven't ever gone back to it, is that I would pick a blue fabric so I wouldn't have to stitch all this blue. So then I would just stitch her, and then I think I would just do this pretty border and not do all this striped. I think the stripe looks incredible, but like it's just too much stitching. This is a 36 count Picture This Plus in Zephyr. This is so, I love this. This is how far I got. Like, look at those creepy, like, vacant eyes. So yeah. There's how far I got on that one. Oh, this is another one that I'm like constantly thinking I just need to get this out and finish it because it would really not take very much time at all. It's a Jeanette Douglas Take Time to Collect. I started this April 29th of 2018. It's tiny. It has some specialty stitches, but like look how small it is. It's like it's 68 by 68, which is so little. And then it's not even like close to anything like full coverage. It's like really spread out. I mean, I could stitch this in like 2 days if I would just sit down and do it, which I haven't. This is Picture This Plus 36 count Oaken. I'm not sure the orientation on the, yeah, that looks right. Okay. Really pretty fabric. Yeah, 1 day of stitching, never went back to it. And again, I could finish that so quickly if I would just do it. Okay, this next one is Pineberry Lane, Autumn on Marigold Lane. I started this May 5th of 2018. Oh, okay, here we go. So Stitch Mania 2018, I went insane. And I've never recovered. I have never recovered from this. Ginger Gigi Stitches, who doesn't even post anymore, challenged me to do 50 starts for Stitch Mania. Not 31, 50. So I had to start like a week, the last week of April, and then like go through the first week of June or something like that. But I did it. I did 50 starts. Now, so you're going to see a run of patterns here where I just have like 1 day of stitching, and it's pretty sad. A lot of them I went back and actually abandoned, maybe like to restart someday on different fabric, like, or I just realized I didn't love it as much as I thought. Like, I don't have 50 here. But this was definitely when my WIP count like exploded and got really crazy. It was because of these 50 starts. Now, these days, I think I've whittled it down to, you know, more like 20 are still WIPs. I've gotten rid of some. I might have finished a couple, not many, but a couple. Anyway, so you're going to see a lot of WIPs here with like 1 day of stitching on them. So Pineberry Lane, Autumn on Marigold Lane. It looks like this. It's not very big. And I'm stitching this on Lakeside Linens 36 count vintage light exemplar. And I got this far, which is not very far. What's next? Ooh. So Nikki's Creations on Etsy. This is a Boba Fett watercolor. And I'm stitching it on like a mystery 32 count. And I got, make sure I'm oriented right here. That's 1 day of stitching on that. Then I got into the Sampler Girl. So during this Stitch Mania, I did a week of Jane Austen patterns, which were primarily Sampler Girl because she does a lot of Jane Austen patterns. So this is Her Thoughts by the Sampler Girl. I started this on May 9th. I had unfortunately only printed this out in black and white. It says her own thoughts and reflections were habitually her best companions. That's a line from Mansfield Park. I'm stitching this with the Called For DMC on a mystery even weave. And that's my 1 day. And these I'm forever going like, God, just get these out and finish them. Like Sampler Girl patterns are not like crazy amounts of stitching. Could totally finish this in like 3 or 4 days. If I would, you know, just do it. The next one is In the Meadow with Jane Austen. Oh, this one's so pretty. And I started this one on May 11th. Called For DMC on like a cream 28 count or 38 count or 32 count, something like that. Just a simple little start on that one. The next one is At Home with Jane Austen, and this one's also very pretty. And it says, there's nothing like staying home for real comfort. And this is on a 28 count Charles Craft Irish linen, which is not even, but I think with the pattern it'll be fine. That's how far I got on that one, which is not far. And then lastly, we have the Sense and Sensibility sampler. I also only printed this out in black and white. And this was a mid-May start in 2018. This is like a long, skinny one. I'm stitching it with like no margin on a 36 count Mellow by Picture This Plus. Look how much room I left myself there. Be a quick stitch if I just will do it. Okay, I need a drink. Okay. Plum Street Samplers, Elizabeth I, started on May 16th, 2018. I converted to silks, and I'm stitching this on a 36 count Edinburgh linen from Zweigart in the color Platinum. It looks like this. This pattern used to be really hard to get. For a while, it was very rare. But I have seen it on Etsy. I know I just saw it on like Cottage Needle on Etsy, so you can find it. And I'm stitching it in silks, but this is all the further I got. I really like this one. I want to get back to it. The next one is kind of fun because I remember why I picked this one when I did. This was May 19th, 2018. This is the DMC kit, Henry VIII, and I stitched this in honor of Harry and Meghan's wedding on May 19th, 2008. It's Henry VIII with all his brides. It's a full kit, but I switched out, so the floss is all DMC. The fabric was like an Aida. I didn't want to do it on Aida, so I switched it to like a simple cream, I think it's 32 count, and that's as far as I got on that. And I did watch the wedding as I stitched on that. What do you all think of Harry and Meghan like piecing out of the royal family? What do we think about that? I'm not sure I care. Okay, so the next one is Plum Street Sampler Nantucket Girls. I started this May 20th, 2018, and I love this one a lot. And I just never went back to it though. It's really big. It's on the most beautiful piece of Lakeside linen, 40 count vintage buttercream. Chef's kiss. It's absolutely stunning. This fabric, so pretty. Here is my tiny little start. I don't even know which way it goes. It probably goes that way. And I'm just doing it in DMC because it calls for like all these NPIs, like a bunch of them. No way. That's not happening. Next we have Nikki's Creation, or not Nikki's Creations, Nikki Creations. I just realized that that name is way too close to Nikki's Creations, which is another designer. Nikki Creations on Etsy. This is Tattoo Darth. I started this May 21st, 2018. This one's like not that big. I could really like finish this with a little effort. It's on a 28 count even weave and I have barely anything going on it yet. But yeah, it's not that big and it's DMC, which tends to stitch a little quicker. All right, You and I and Friends Prairie House. I started this May 26th of 2018. This was a little kit I found at the craft box. It came with the linen and all the DMC and like a couple of weeks. And the full kit was $6.79. I love the craft box. I really miss that. I can't go there right now. I only got to work on this for one day, so not very much on this one at all. It's kind of pitiful. It's almost like not worth showing because it's like, here, look at nothing here. Okay, so up next, another one that's been on my mind, like to get back to, the Brooks Books, Little Women. I have all 4. I started with Meg. Here's all 4. I am going to lay them out in a row like that. I started this on May 29th of 2018 on a 28 count Monaco from Charles Craft in the color tea dye. It's not mottled, it's just a solid color. And that's how far I got. I really like those though. They've been on my mind. Fiddlesticks AU 11 C's. This was June 1st, 2018. We're kind of getting to the end. I did print this in black and white, but that's okay because I'm going to just use my own colors. I'm just going to like grab whatever color like is calling to me. This is a 32 count Weeks Dye Works linen in kudzu. It's really, really pretty. It's a really pretty green, and that's how far I got on that one. Another one that I don't think would really take that much time if I would just like take the time to focus on it. Okay. Primitive Hair Jane Eyre. I started this on June 2nd, 2018. And I love this chart so much. And I was, when I was organizing my WIPs, this one was like one I had to just stop and look at for a while because I really love this chart. I'm stitching this on 32 count Nikki's Creations linen in Old England. And I only got to put a day in it, so I got very little done. So sad. Okay, that's the end of the first page. So we're going on to the next. But we're not done with this crazy stitch mania. We've got 2 left from that time. Ooh, this is one I've actually tried like to make an attempt to get finished. I still haven't finished it, but I've worked on it recently. This is Primitive Hair Lizzie Borden. I started this June 4th, 2018. Called for DMC, and I hand dyed this fabric myself to look like a bloody murder scene. And we're getting there. Not a lot of work left on that one. And the last Stitch Mania 2018. The last one, June 10th of 2018. Heartstrings Samplery, Stars and Diamonds. When I was organizing my WIPs, this one was calling to me hardcore. Like I almost like dropped everything and started working on this one again. So I hope I do get back to this soon. This is a 32 count cream Zweigart linen with the called for colors, and I got that much done of it. Okay, so that was Mania 2018, which was absolute pandemonium, and I didn't even do Mania in 2019 because like I still have not recovered. I've not recovered. In Mania this year, I'm doing a little something. I'll talk about it in my next floss tube, but never again am I doing like a full-blown Mania. Okay, so we're done with that one. But don't fear, I brought another. Oh, that's good. That's a different flavor. Okay. This is in a Christine bag. Christine Stitch All the Things gave me this bag. So pretty. The front is like clear vinyl. I've got a chart right here. It's so pretty. Her bags are so well made. And I love this bag. Okay, so this is Barbara Anna Snooty Parrots. August 1st, 2018, I started this pattern. And I hosted a SAL for anyone who wanted to jump in. And a few of you did. I have worked on this recently. I worked on this, I don't know, it was a couple months ago. Trying to find a picture of the whole thing. Ah, there it is. Okay. So it looks like this. And I am making adjustments to this to make it a Gilmore Girls themed sampler. So anywhere I could think to kind of change it and make it fit a Gilmore Girls theme, I am. I'm leaving the snooty parrots because I feel like Lorelai would very much love a snooty parrot. Like a lot. Oh, there's a needle. That's a good needle too. That's a John James Petite. Taking that. Oh God, where can I put that where I'm not gonna lose that? Oh, I'll probably forget I put that there. This is on 40 count R&R Stars Hollow Blend. Yes, I did. Stars Hollow Blend. 40 count. And I'm keeping with the spirit of like the called for colors, but I switched them all to silks because I wanted this to be like a very special sampler, and it is. I really love this sampler. And we've got a lot done on this one. Every time I show this one, you guys just like die. So the top is pretty much as charted. And then we get to the tree, and I changed Adam and Eve to be Luke and Lorelai. He's handing her a cup of coffee. And then the parrot is as charted. And then I changed the words to a quote from Lorelai. So it's very much not that different than the original. But I've got big changes planned for the bottom. And I finally I kind of knew what I wanted to do. I finally sat down and charted it all out. And now I'm very excited because, you know, I finally know where I want to go. And I don't think I have that much stitching left to do. And I'm really excited about what I've charted. So I hope I can get to this eventually and show you guys all the crazy changes I'm making there. My next WIP of 2018 was Cottage Garden Peace on Earth. And this was a stitch along that Christine from Stitch All the Things and Sarah from Stitchology hosted. And I started this on August 13th. And there's two colorways, and I did decide to kind of do this colorway. The linen is like a mystery, Zweigart gray blue. It's really pretty. I don't have that much left on it, but I mean enough. I got to do the house and the bird. It's a big bird. Ooh. This is a favorite by far. You guys love this one as much as I do. This is another Christine bag. Stitch All the Things. Her bags, you guys, they are superb. But she uses this cool vinyl, this glitter vinyl. But they're made just, I mean, if you get a chance to buy one of her bags, you should, because they're fabulous. So this is Primitive Needle Witch's Hollow. I started this on September 2nd. This is my working copy, so it's beat up and it's not as vibrant, it's a little faded. It's a really big piece, and it's a very valuable pattern. I didn't want it to get beat up, so I made a working copy. I'm stitching this with all the called for weeks dye works, which is a million colors. And I am stitching this on 40 count Picture This Plus Murky, which is just glorious. My friend Victor, his Instagram is Flawed Sir. He recently started this. This is how far I got. I got a lot done. I worked on this not that long ago, a couple months ago maybe. Okay, we're almost to the end of the first bucket. Stacy Nash Blackwater Hollow, September 9th, 2018. And this is stitched on, it's all the called for colors. I believe this is a 36 count Platinum by Lakes. I think it's by Lakeside. it might not be called platinum, but it's something like that. It might be platinum. It's not like variegated, it's really subtle. Don't have much to say about that. Okay. Mirabilia Lady of the Flag. I started this on September 11th, 2018. This pattern was graciously given to me by Daphne Mama Metzger on a giveaway that she held, because this was right after the re-release, and she had ordered it from somewhere, and then it was looking like she wasn't gonna get it, or like something wasn't gonna go right, so she ordered it from a different shop, and then the original shop did send it, so she ended up with 2, so she did a giveaway. I am stitching this on the Primitive Hair 30 count Constitution linen, and I am doing a color conversion, and I'm making the colors more like the Statue of Liberty kind of colors. Oh, this is the biggest piece of linen. Like every time I'm like, why is this a blanket? Look how big this is. It's a blanket. It's so big. There are a lot of conversions for this pattern, like a lot. And there are a lot of conversions that are in this colorway. I, at the time, didn't know where to find those, so I did pick these colors myself. They're probably similar to some other conversions out there. But that's where we are with that one. Okay. I'm starting to feel that drink. Next bin of whips. Oh, jeez Louise. This is a good one. Sneak Peek Mania 2020. This pattern is going to feature in my Mania plans. This is the Works of Jane Austen Stitch Along, which started right around September 2018, because I know I bought it and started it like pretty much immediately. So she would have released the first bit like right around then. Here's what the whole thing is going to look like. I am stitching this with the Called For DMCs, and I'm stitching it on an XJude Designs like Fabric of the Month, because I was a part of her club at that point. It was the August 2018 one, and it's called Dark Mountain. It's really pretty. This is really pretty gray mottled. Anyway, here's where I got on this one. I'm still on the Sense and Sensibility block. So stay tuned, because you're going to see that one again, because it's coming back out in May. Okay, this is a really fun one. So this is the Primitive Hair. So this is a series of freebies on her blog, and she has done all of the pagan holidays. So there are 8, I believe 8 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. So she's done 8 of these freebies to celebrate the different holidays. This one is so cute. I love this one. So you can find these for free. Like, they're still available. I decided I was going to stitch all 8 of them. But I wanted to, most people just stitch them, make them like a cute little like pillow ornament, something like that. I decided I wanted to do mine as a wheel, which for the pagan holidays like makes sense, the wheel of the year. So I tea-dyed some like 32 count. And I got going, and then I kind of lost steam. But, you know, I love the way the fabric turned out. So I'm arranging those in a wheel, basically in a circle. And then I was like, okay, what am I going to put in the middle? I'm going to have this space in the middle. And that's kind of, I think, when I kind of stopped and got held up for a while on this piece. What I kept going back to was like a pentagram for the middle, but I didn't feel like charting one myself. And I just could never find one I liked. I really scoured Etsy and I just couldn't get there. I couldn't find one I liked. And then finally I was looking at this pattern by the Witchy Stitcher, and I looked up the dimensions, and it will actually fit perfectly right in the middle of my wheel. So I bought this to go there. I might change up the colors a little bit just to make it like go with the other ones. Okay, so I started in 2018, I started a Haid. On October 2nd, I started Mini Milagros La Luna. She came out to play January 2020, and I put like 600 stitches in on her. I'm stitching her 1/1 full cross on 28 count linen, which sounds insane, but it's that Charles Craft Irish linen, so it's like the holes are enormous. So even though it's 1/1 on 28 count, it's fine because there's plenty of room. It's not like a 28 count like Monaco. So that's how much, look how tiny, because it's 1/1 on 28 count, so it's like tiny, but that's a ton of stitches in there. That's where we're at. That's a journey piece. That's a lifetime piece. Okay. Ooh, this is a good one. October 6th of 2018. Primitive Needle Blacked Sky. So that is really pretty. This is on another X-Jude fabric of the month, and it's called Cinnamon Roll. It's a 36 count. Oh, I love this fabric. It's got like these yellow blotches on it. And that's how far I got on that one. So we're an hour in. I'm more than halfway done. So at this point, I need to make a decision. I try to rush through the rest, or if we do a part 2, because this is getting intense, right? Like, don't you guys think like a part 2 would be apropos? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to finish out the 2018, and then we're going to stop. I'm going to go pee, maybe grab a little snack, and then I'll come back and we'll do part 2. That's what we're going to do. So we've got a couple more to get us through 2018. Okay, so Samplers and Stories Herbal Grimoire, October 11th, 2018. I am stitching this on an X-Jude 40 count dark sand. It's really pretty. It's this pretty brown. And I got that far, which is not far. Not far at all. And then I got out, I started Witchy Stitcher Ouija board on October 14th, 2018. And this is on a 28 count Monaco that I dyed myself. And this is another one I think like I could finish if I just you know, gave it some time. Like, we could get there. We could get that done. I worked on that recently, actually. Blackbird, Away We Ride, October 16th, 2018. I don't feel like I started this that long ago. I would have told you I started it last year. It's a very popular pattern. This is on R&R 36 count Plum Street Blend. I really like this color. Every time I see this, I'm like, ooh, such a pretty, look at that. Such a pretty color. Okay, this is how far I got on that one. I got a good start on the house. And then I got started on Little Stitcher Addams Family on October 18th. October 18th, 2018. This is on, I think it's a platinum. I think it's a 36 count platinum, maybe? I don't get very much done on that. There's not a lot of stitching to the pattern, but I also don't have very much done. Oh, you know what this was? I was doing something that Halloween. I don't remember what, but I might have been trying to do a start every other day. I think, I don't know. I don't know what I was doing, but I started a bunch of things for Halloween that year. This is Barbara Anna Rampant Cat Sampler. This is a 32 count linen that I dyed myself. I tea and coffee dyed it, and it really took, like it got really dark. It's really cool looking though. And that's how far I am on that, which is not far at all. Two more, and then we'll go to we'll take a break and do part 2. So, Tiny Modernist Santa's House Mystery Stitch Along. This was started on November 3rd, 2018, and I remember exactly. I remember I had seen this, Sal, and I was like, whatever, it looks cute, don't care, whatever. And then I remember it was like a weekend, it was a Saturday or a Sunday, and I was watching Michelle Bendy Stitchy, and she showed this, and I was like, damn it, I need that. And then I like needed to start it like then. So I remember running to buy it, dyeing the fabric myself like that day so I could start it the next day. I actually love this fabric. It turned out really good. Look at this fabric. Here's how far I got on this. Which is pretty far, but also not, you know? Like, in the grand scheme of things, not that far, but I did stitch on it for quite a while. This one's one I've struggled with because I really like the way it looks, but it's really not my style. It's particularly not my Christmas style. I like definitely more of a traditional prim style. So I struggle because I think this is adorable, but I'm like, where will I put this if I ever finish it? But it's so cute. I do like it. So I've never like given it away because I'm like, no, I still like it. I'm going to finish it. All right, my last 2018 WIP. This was started November 9th of 2018. This is the Primitive Needle Salem Remembered. This is my working copy because this chart is precious. and I am stitching this. It doesn't call for a lot of colors. It calls for 3 colors, and they're silken colors, which I could have done, but I just pulled stuff from stash. I'm stitching this on 40 count primitive hair linen. It's, do I have the tag in here? Yes. I love her linen. It's like my favorite linens. This is 40 count Old Massachusetts, which was fitting for Salem Remembered. And this is another one that I'm like, it's a good size piece, but it's not dense stitching. And I'm like, you know, if you just would like devote some time, you could finish that in less than 2 weeks. But then I haven't done that, so. But look how pretty that linen is. There we go. All right, so we'll take a little break and we'll come back for part 2. Part 2 is going to be all of my 2019 and 2020 WIPs. What you have just seen is all of my 2017 and 2018 WIPs. Thank you if you made it this far. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned. We'll put part 2 up later, and hopefully this will give you something to keep you a little bit entertained and amused during this stay-at-home shelter-in-place pandemic craziness. All right, I'll see you guys soon. Bye.